Hello, everyone, and welcome to the third episode of the Filmocity podcast. I'm Freddie.
I'm Anna.
I'm Jacob.
I'm Shayden.
And on today's episode, we are talking about the new Mutants.
Woohoo.
Which has had a very troubled, journey to the big screen. It was delayed and pushed back 5 times until Disney just decided to, we're just going to throw this in theaters. And the story is that we have a group of young mutants who get put in a hospital where they're supposed to be helped to learn what their abilities are, and all kinds of nightmare stuff happens.
And I think this thing's going to be nominated for Best Picture, honestly. So, should we go around the group and see...
What we all thought? Shayden goes last.
Shayden goes last.
Just to give some context to the very troubled production of New Mutants, this film was shot in 2017 and it was scheduled to be released in 2018, but then it got pushed back, and then it got pushed back again consecutively 4 more times until now it's been dropped in 2020. And the whole reason this happened is because they were originally supposed to do reshoots in 2018, but then the cast had aged out of their roles. Like, they didn't look like the characters anymore, so they had to scrap the reshoots idea. And then Disney bought 20th Century Fox, who owned the X-Men license. So then the film got pushed back because of that. And then Disney Studios didn't even want to release the film, but they were contractually obligated to release the film in theaters because when they bought the Fox studio, they were on the contract that every single Fox film that was finished needed to go
Pushed it out.
Had to go to theaters. So this film was originally supposed to come out this spring, but then coronavirus happened, everything shut down, and now they're just like, okay, there's a few theaters open, a few markets are open, let's just drop this movie.
I mean, it's spring for us.
Yeah.
for the southern hemisphere.
For the rest of the world, spring back in March.
The initial idea for creating this film, trying to get it into pre-production, started in 2014.
Whoa.
With the initial idea being pushed through in 2015. Took them a year or so to do that. Pre-production properly started in April in 2017. Filming began on July 10th, 2017. So that's what, I don't know, I feel like that's a short pre-production for something that they wanted to be super big.
Yeah.
And then, post-production went on for many, many moons.
Yeah, because originally this film was supposed to be part 1 in a trilogy. Because this film is sort of... Cause I think they had to scrap all that, obviously, because now Disney owns the X-Men rights. But there's a lot of hints and stuff dropped about the X-Men in this film. For example, Anya Taylor-Joy's character is the sister of like a super famous X-Men character, Colossus, which is the big
I love him.
metal guy.
Yeah.
He's in Deadpool and he's also in the original X-Men film. So she's his sister. And yeah, they keep talking about the X-Men and that other school. And they also drop some hints to the Essex Company, which is owned by Mr. Sinister, which is like one of the biggest X-Men villains there is. And also I think it's in X-Men Apocalypse, there's a post-credit scene where they also tease the Essex Company. So back then, there was obviously some plans to do like a big Fox universe of X-Men films with the New Mutants, and this film also sort of ties into Logan.
Yeah.
And with the old...
There's footage of Logan.
Yeah. What did you guys think of the film? I personally thought it was not as bad as I thought it was gonna be, just because of how the production of this film, how talked about it has been, and how much it has been pushed back. I thought it was just fine. This felt like a film that should just have been dropped on Netflix. It feels like a Netflix, middle of the road Netflix film. Not the worst I've ever seen, not super good, but I wasn't really bored. I was entertained throughout. I thought the script was extremely cringy at times.
Oh, yeah.
I really liked all the actors. I thought they had great chemistry together, although 3 out of 5 were doing accents that they could not sustain. So they went like in and out, like every sentence. But I thought it was fine. Just fine. What about you, Jacob?
So on Google, it says that this movie is a horror/fantasy. I thought it was a bit of a comedy,
Yeah.
I
just
think
because of how cringe some of it was and how cliche a lot of the lines were and how the story went. It definitely kept me entertained, much like Frederick. I was never like bored, but I was never like, man, this movie is spectacular and amazing. I was sort of just on the edge of my seat laughing a lot of the time, or like wincing at how cringe it was. Sort of talking to Anna and talking to Shayden, like making little remarks like, oh, this is so shit, but like laughing at the same time. Yeah, I liked the cast. It was definitely a good bunch, but the Kentucky man needs to not do a Kentucky accent.
Yeah.
poor Charlie.
Yeah, Charlie, just stick to British, please, mate. And Maisie, why the fuck were you doing a Scottish accent? You're British, aren't you? Anna said, oh, I'm so glad she's doing her normal accent. I'm like, bro, she's doing a
Because she
Scottish
dropped
accent.
out. Like,
Yeah.
it started off and I was like, oh, she's British. And then she said like 2 words and I was like, that's not British.
That ain't British, son. Neither was that. Sorry. Yeah, who's next?
I, at times, thought it was worse than I had anticipated. I tried to go in with kind of neutral hopes, being like, I know that this film has been in production, if you know, more than 5 years.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know if any other films that have had that similar thing have gone on to be very good.
Yeah.
But I definitely thought parts of it were much stronger than I thought they would be, like especially part of the horror aspects.
Yeah.
All those, I don't do horror movies very well. I'm scared of a lot of things. But definitely the like Slender Man kind of smiley face figures, fuck, they freaked me out. I was like looking at
that
Jacob.
was disgusting.
They were so creepy. I thought they did that really well. I love the cast,
Yeah.
like as individuals. I think that they, like I've seen, you know, Anya Taylor-Joy in like Split and stuff. I've seen, you know, amazing Game of Thrones. The guy who was Sunspot was in Teen Wolf, and I realized he's one of the guys in like 13 Reasons Why.
Oh,
So I've like seen
okay.
them and stuff, and obviously Charlie's in Stranger Things. And I was like expecting, I was like, these guys, I know that they can do good performances. And then to see them on screen with the fucking worst writing I have seen in a long time,
Yeah.
I was so upset because it could have been done well. It so could have been
Yeah.
without the, you know, 2016 graphics kind of thing.
Yeah.
I want to talk about that later, man.
yeah.
Fucking hell.
I don't think that the main character, the girl who played Danny, did.
Yeah. I think her name is Blue Hunt. I think she's a
Oh
newcomer.
yeah, she's got like a cool name, and I was like, it'd be cool to see, you know, a fresh face with all these kind of well-known other like kind of teen actors.
Yeah.
And I was really let down by those performances. I was really upset about it, and the graphics was something that I was quite angry at. I thought, especially Anya Taylor-Joy's character,
Yeah.
I was like, that's such a cool concept. And then the dragon came like to life, and I was like,
Yeah.
fuck, that's cool. But fuck, that's such a letdown. Like the way they
They animated
filmed it
something.
and animated
Yeah.
it, I was like, God, I was like, shit. But at the same time, I was like, if this is the best that we get, like, I'm still excited to like see
Yeah.
what they're doing with it. And
Yeah.
I thought she looked super badass and stuff.
Yeah,
but
she's really cool.
some of those like superhero landings and shit, I was like, please stop.
Yeah.
We know it's a superhero film. You don't have to like grease it up.
Yeah, I feel like one of the problems is that the film didn't really commit to any one thing. It's like, is it a superhero film? Is it a horror film? Is it like a
Comedy.
teen romance film? It's like all
like
these.
Such a teen film.
Yeah. It's-
Coming
Yeah.
of age type shit.
Definitely like should have been on Netflix kind of thing.
Yeah.
I
The
remember-
cast looked like a Netflix cast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially that buff, like, you know, like meant to be like boyfriend type guy.
Yeah.
Inspiration for this film, or part of it, was Nightmare on Elm Street 3. The old ones. I don't know if you guys have seen those,
No.
but I love those old like 80s, 70s horror films. And Nightmare on Elm Street 3 is called Dream Warriors, and it's about all these kids who are in a mental hospital because Freddy haunts their dreams.
Oh shit.
You know, and
that makes a lot of sense.
yeah, but they learn in their dreams that they have special powers that they can fight Freddy with. So I was like, yeah, this is really similar to that, and it also feels kind of like Breakfast Clubby, because there's a scene when they all get together and they start dancing and stuff, and it's like, this is okay. So this is just what like adults think teenagers do when they
Yeah.
bond. We like dance
I
and
was-
throw stuff at each
I
other.
was saying to Shayden before we were sitting in the car, and we were saying, he was mentioning it was like it's very similar to Breakfast Club
Yeah.
due to the dancing scene. I was like,
Yeah.
you know that there's so many other like film cliches, and it's not just Breakfast Club, but it is very much something that they would have pulled from, been like, yeah, no, this is cool. And it was like, yeah, nah,
Yeah.
it's not. I wanted to also say it was a win for the gays. I saw that coming a mile off.
Oh yeah.
I was
think
quite
As soon as
happy.
they got in the shower, I was like, and she's like looking her up. I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
you're looking at her teeth.
Well, she was the dog at the start who like was following her around. And
I didn't
stuff.
click that until later. I saw
Yeah.
her as the dog. Oh, that's who she was following her.
Mm.
I thought that dog was going to attack her, like stop her from leaving, and then she had the force field. Huh.
Everyone cover your ears, Shayden, go.
Hello. So, you may have forgotten that I am on this podcast.
You're so quiet.
You may not enjoy what I'm about to say. This is something that I want to introduce called Shayden's Not Happy. This will be a bit on films that I do not like at all, where I go absolutely apeshit. Don't move that closer to me.
Go and like just cut a bit of his audio and just bring the volume down and then bring it up.
To begin, what the fuck was that? That was absolute shit. Everything... Oh, sorry, I forgot to mention. This is 2 minutes and a half when no one else can talk. Okay. The writing was fucking horrible. The dialogue is being pulled straight from the fucking 70s. The fucking cast should have been good, but the performances were whack as fuck. The direction was poor. No one gave a fuck. The CGI was shit. Just outdated as fuck, which that's how happens when you like push back a film by fucking 10 years. And just nothing worked. The jokes were horrible. The cliches were all over the place. The film was just stitched together with cliches. And it's just a big fucking soup of shit things put
Are
in
you
one...
about to cry, bro?
Yes. What I say? No talking. It's just a big soup of fucking shit things poured in together, and it's like, there, here's your fucking dinner. So thank you, Disney. Thank you, Fox. You fucking ruined my night. And to finish it off,
So you got 2 minutes, bro.
this is exactly what happens when no one gives a fuck about the film they're making and no one cares about what they're doing. That's what happens. You get something like this, where it's just, there's no emotion, the characters, what are they doing? What are they, like, the only thing that they have is just gimmicks, and like, their personalities are portrayed like MacGuffins. It's like, well, we need these things for the work for the story, so let's just pull stuff from each character and then put it into the story instead of actually building anything. At the end of the film, I didn't give a fuck about anyone. I was like, why should I? I don't give a shit. Like, what? Oh, we saw a bit of romance, we saw some bonding, which was ripped straight from Breakfast Club, so go fuck yourself. And, yeah, it was just fucking nothing. I don't know. It just felt like a waste of my time. Luckily, it wasn't long, so I didn't have to fucking sit there for that long. So yeah. Don't like it.
Yeah, are you done?
Yes.
Thanks for tuning into our podcast. We'll see you next week.
I will now be joining the conversation.
I'd like to make a note of we've literally just seen the film and have come in
Yeah.
and started recording this podcast.
I just want to dispute that one thing you said that the director didn't care.
No, I said no one cares.
So, so the director for this film is Josh Boone, who did Fault in Our Stars.
Yeah, I wondered how he could do such contrasting films.
Yeah,
He did it right after. He
was
planned
it?
to do it right after.
That's
Yeah.
not his least rated film, though.
And
worst rated
I
film
was
is
watching an
something.
interview with him the other day, and he was doing Zoom, and so he was like, you could see his like living room or whatever, and the entire wall was just comic books, like all over, and he was like super excited talking about this, and he was like, we have all these ideas, but we wanted to bring those in like later films, so like you can tell when you like see him talk about it that he was really passionate about this. But I also think that, like, 5 years of pushback and arguing with studios and probably having them come in and like tamper with his vision, it's probably what happened here, I feel. Because this was greenlit at the time when Fox was taking really big chances, when they greenlit Logan and Deadpool, and like we're doing R-rated films. And I think this was originally supposed to be a lot more of a horror film and have an R rating. And it still has elements of that, but you can
I
tell that
would
they...
not take a fucking kid to see that movie.
No, yeah, like this was not supposed to
still
be like
M.
a kill film.
Yeah,
But-
I was scared
Well,
myself.
That's what sucks when you have big corporations fucking around with each other.
Yeah.
They can't figure out what they want to do, or they don't give a shit. I mean, I don't know anything about the film. I didn't look into it because I knew I was gonna dislike it. So the fact that the director was actually keen to make it is, and I mean, that's the worst thing about films like that when they get tampered with or they get fucked around by production companies. Everyone on that film works their ass off, and then they don't get the opportunity to actually show it because I'm hoping that they're not happy with that because anyone who's happy with that. Anyway.
Yeah,
Happy
it's
with
really
the
sad.
paycheck
And I
and
mean,
that.
I feel like this film must have been shot so cheap. There's one location, there's 6 actors, maybe 7 in the entire film. Damn,
Are
it
you
was
serious?
6
Yeah,
or 7.
$67 million
Estimated.
budget.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Well,
That's more
I
than
guess
the
that's what
lottery.
happens with 5 years. You just lose it. You just can't be
I
fucked
reckon
anymore.
more than half that budget was like post production, trying to
yeah,
save it
probably.
and buying shit, buying rights to shit.
They've made
Yeah.
10 million already.
Yeah.
They'll
I mean-
probably break even.
Yeah,
Or there'll
probably.
be people like us who just
Yeah.
want to see how bad it is.
And I think that this is gonna be out in theaters for 2-3 weeks, and then Disney's gonna be
Drop
like,
off the face
yeah,
of the
it's
earth.
gonna like go straight to like streaming or like paid VOD.
Disney Plus, bro.
Disney Plus will not take this.
No, yeah, maybe.
No, they will.
I guarantee
the whole
it'll
catalogue
go.
up.
Yeah, but I guarantee.
Yeah, but they
it'll go
haven't
somewhere else.
taken like Deadpool and stuff, have they?
No, because
'Cause
they
That's
won't
Fox.
put anything that's
Oh, wait.
R-rated on Disney Plus.
I can see it being on like you said, Netflix. That's just like the perfect Netflix film, and it's just that's why I don't like it. Because it is sad because you know that people worked hard, and
Yeah.
apart
Yeah.
from the writer, he didn't work hard at all.
But the director's writer.
Oh god.
I'd like to say I think it's quite bold to make a film with no continuity.
Yeah, it was.
Oh yeah, that was all like the nosebleed.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
nosebleed just
Literally-
suddenly disappeared when she hit the grass.
One of the goofs on fucking IMDb is the amount of blood from Danny's nose changes shot to shot.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Fuck yeah.
Oh god, it's just so messy.
it's very messy.
It's just all it's all over the place. There's lacks any kind of passion or connection to the characters.
Yeah.
I didn't even know what the characters' names were at the end of the film. I
Yeah,
know
I know.
one, and that was the main character.
Apparently in May, the film was automatically listed for home media pre-order on Amazon.
Oh no.
That's what I mean. I guarantee it won't even go to Disney Plus. It'll probably go to Amazon or something.
I'd be too scared to put up on Disney Plus.
No, not even that.
Because
I
it's
just
horror
don't want it.
aspects.
There was some controversy about this film, like about a week ago, because the character who plays Sunspot, the Brazilian guy, in the comics he's dark-skinned Brazilian.
Yeah.
And the director said in an interview, just like a case of putting your foot in your mouth, he said that, oh, I didn't care about the racism. I just wanted to cast someone that looked like his parents had money. So people were like, whoa.
Hold on.
God.
yeah.
Oh
There was
Jesus.
also a racist Pocahontas joke, and I felt like it was really.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was really surprised.
Calling her Pocahontas, calling her Standing Rock,
Yeah, it's
and being like, "Do you know how to grow weed?" No, that's not very Indian of you. Then.
Yeah, I was like, whoa,
what the
this,
fuck?
yeah,
It's literally
You're Russian, bro. You're literally such a stereotype.
yeah.
Rasputin is the last name.
Yeah,
literally
which is the
had
fucking big
no-
Russian family.
no point in being
And
there.
DaCosta was the last name of that Brazilian guy. They
Yeah.
got such basic names.
No, but it had no place.
I just want to touch on that really quick. The
The character.
how infuriatingly lazy the computer system that kept popping up was.
Oh yeah.
It was like,
oh my god.
Message coming in. This character.
It's like
Here's all their
Paranormal
stats. Dude,
Activity.
like I was like,
Kill.
oh, this is really like cheap. Like
Well,
you couldn't have
that's
come up with
probably
a
the
better
reshoot.
way.
That's probably all they could do.
Probably, but yeah.
It got delayed because of its special effects, and I can see why they clearly rushed it. The scenes with that, what's the Russian girl's name?
Anya
Oh, her
Taylor-Joy.
eyes look so bad.
Every time her background appeared, I swear to God, I just got flashbacks of like Shark Boy Lava
Video
Girl.
game, yes.
Like
I was
how
literally
poor the green
thinking of
screen
that.
was,
Yeah.
laid over the top or whatever.
I like
And
the
her
dragon.
eyes,
I like the dragon.
Anna and I mentioned
Lockhead.
that, or Anna mentioned and I agreed, that the bear at
Yeah.
the end, the
Yeah.
eyes looked terrible, but the fur was pretty good.
Feel
Yeah.
wasn't bad.
Yeah, I
when
agree.
the
There
the
was
sun
some-
was coming.
Low poly.
Oh, when she was like touching it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
There was
agree.
some low poly aspects I noticed on the right side of the face, but apart from that, it wasn't too bad.
Oh,
the
fun fact!
teacher getting
Really fun
bit-
fact.
bitten
When
was fake.
Macy Williams saw the priest,
Mm-hmm.
that's my teacher from acting school.
Is it?
Yeah, his name is Happy Anderson.
I was gonna say his name is
way.
Happy, and he always reminds me of John Favreau because John Favreau's character in the MCU is called Happy Hogan.
He's your teacher.
Yeah, he was my teacher.
No way.
Yeah, he's so cool. He's like working
Get him
with
to
everyone.
get him to send us an audio clip of his review.
I should. Maybe I can get him on the
Get him to
podcast.
send him this review.
What do you think of this movie? Oh, don't talk about that.
I think the special effects, like the physical, like prosthetics and stuff,
Yeah.
I think they were actually done quite well.
Me
Apart
too.
from this whole nosebleed thing, but on him,
Yeah.
that would look fucking terrifying,
Yeah.
like this big, like the skin
Yeah.
peeling off
And
his
I
face.
thought her, where the doctor, when she got cut in the face, it
Yeah,
was like
that was
in
good.
her eye and stuff. I was like, ooh, that looks really
And
good.
the burn on Maisie Williams' like neck and stuff,
Yeah.
like
Oh, yeah, the W was
I thought
good.
that was done quite well. Because I mean, that was something I studied. I studied special effects and makeup, and I always see when it's not done
Yeah.
very well because you can see like the shine or like you see powder where they've tried to like blend it. It just looks fucking nasty.
Well, it just sucks, man. Because it's like you can see like that. You can see aspects of it slipping through where it's like it could have been good. It could have been something good, but it just wasn't.
Yeah.
It didn't gel at all. Everything, the whole theme of the film was all over the place the whole
Yeah.
entire time. It was so disappointing. And I was expecting it to be bad, but I was blown away by how bad it was, in my opinion. Like,
Yeah.
wow.
I mean, I've seen way worse than this.
Yeah.
But I think that one of the problems with the film is that usually in the X-Men films or any superhero films, it's like it's very a character's powers is usually like very straightforward. Like you can shoot lasers, or you can become you can have a steel sword or whatever. But in this film, the powers were not really defined that well, at least for Danny.
Yeah.
And because
You can kill people with your dreams.
yeah, because it was like her power is that she like manifests everyone's
fear.
fears, but she uses her power can be used on herself. Kind of think because the bear was gonna kill her, and it's like so her own
was
power
haunting
can
her.
kill her, and
But she can
Wait,
stop it.
But something I realized was, wait, so they're being trained to be killers, but she was too dangerous to be a killer.
yeah, because she couldn't be controlled.
Because
But surely
it was
that-
affecting
But she just
others.
controlled herself at the end.
Yeah.
So she
Yeah.
proved them wrong.
I feel
All
like
she had to do was say,
No.
stop.
Oh god, that was
Stop.
the worst.
No.
fucking
Stop
part.
it.
Yeah,
I couldn't
No,
think of a
I
more,
said no.
I couldn't think of a more anticlimactic way.
I'm the captain
Shut
now.
the fuck up. I couldn't think of a more anticlimactic way to finish a film.
I lost it. If I had a drink, I was
Oh
going to
my
choke on it.
god, man. It just...
I
I
reckon
think the whole
like
cinema laughed.
I think yeah, bro, you could hear people, and I felt so bad because I love X-Men. Like that was like my go-to growing up. I watched
Same,
X-Men movies.
yeah.
That was my first one.
And I was so upset to like see how fucking far it had fallen.
yeah.
And
Yeah, it's the 13th installment officially.
yeah,
Yep.
sad.
That's the first X-Men film I've seen.
Really?
Yep.
Oh my god,
What?
What a terrible way
I
to
can
start
only
it.
go up from here, Jacob.
Unless it
Trust
goes
me.
backwards in timeline.
Shut up. We're not talking about Tenet right now.
I'm talking about going from the releases backwards instead of
Okay,
starting at the
cut
Well,
start.
the
Cut
X-Men timeline is so fucked anyway, so that doesn't really
Just
matter.
watch
Oh, yeah,
First Class,
fucking
you'll be
is.
fine.
It's good.
I saw parts of Last Stand on an aeroplane when I was like 7, but that's
Don't
about
do
it.
that.
Yeah, don't do that one.
Apparently they wanted to do like a horror house and like pull inspiration from like Stephen King and stuff. And it really upsets me because I'm a huge Stephen King fan, and I think he would see this movie and be so upset by it.
Wait, you're a Stephen King fan, but you don't like horror?
I know it's a contradiction.
It's a super contradiction.
Yeah, what the
I
hell?
like the books. I have a lot of his books, and I
Okay.
really like them. And I've seen It,
Yeah.
Chapter 1 and Chapter 2.
You love it,
and the
don't you?
original. I love it. I've got 2 It tattoos, and I love his writing. I've seen Under the Dome, and I've seen the show, even though it's not very good. But I'm quite for someone. I feel like for people who know me, I'm quite like passive aggressive, mainly aggressive.
Okay.
But
Yes.
I may or may not have been threatening Shayden for the last while.
With a fucking knife.
Yes, not a sharp one. Well, kind of. Anyway, but I'm like deathly afraid of like, I guess the unknown and like the dark. Like I'm scared of like the ocean. I like don't go like going in the water, and to like see those sort of things that I read in books,
Yeah.
which I love. I love mythology. I love scary stories. But to see them come to life, especially on screen and stuff,
I get you.
it's like, oh shit, it's real, kind of.
Yeah.
And it freaks me out. And the fucking Slender Man. Oh, I'm not gonna sleep.
Are you ready for a hot take?
Go.
Okay.
This movie is a B-Tech Suicide Squad.
Oh,
Just because
wow.
it's a similar
You
conflict.
can say that.
Smiley.
It's a similar concept, but it is 100% worse. Suicide Squad is so much better than this movie,
No,
I
no,
and I hate
will
Suicide
fight you in
Squad.
the street right now.
Really?
Suicide Squad is the worst film
I hate
ever made.
Suicide Squad, but this was so much worse.
I don't think Suicide Squad was great.
But this is a lot worse.
So-
I don't know. There were. I wish. I feel like you could go back, like a pick a path kind of thing. You go back and you could just change a few bits in this film,
Yeah.
and it would kind of have a structured storyline. In New Mutants, I thought the cinematography was actually okay, but the writing.
It was
Was the
very
biggest
very
letdown.
fast moving, like lots of blurry shots.
Yeah.
This film tore itself down from the inside with the writing.
Yeah.
Every time it tried to go forward, it just ended up going back.
Yeah.
And it started so weirdly as well. Like,
Yeah, that started so dramatically. Like the acting was
no, it
so
wasn't
poor.
even that. It was just the fact, like,
Like, well, where are we going? You
You-
gotta be safe.
you
Stay
had
here. I'm
no-
gonna go help the others. Next minute, he's fucking dead.
you have no clue where you are, and then you have no clue where you are once again 2 minutes later. And it's
When
like,
she's
wait,
in the
what the
hospital.
fuck was that? And then, wait, where are we now?
I was gonna say, with that opening scene, I think they could have given the audience a bit more. I mean, I like movies where we don't have to know as much as these other characters. But if they'd maybe shown her being quite restless in her sleep, because that was a trigger at the very start of the movie
Yeah.
that brought these kind of fears to life, especially this fucking bear.
Yeah.
Rawr.
And I reckon if they'd maybe shown her like being restless and some kind of indication that maybe she was causing this, it would have been an easier follow for everyone
Yeah.
else. Because up until like more of the
end?
nightmares, up until more of the nightmares started coming to life, I didn't know what her power was. I didn't click. Like obviously I knew comic wise what she was, but from watching the film, if you go in not knowing anything about these characters, you don't know what's happening. And I think it should have been more straightforward.
All this film needed was 10 more minutes at the start before anything happened to establish who we are, where we are, what's going on.
Yeah.
That's not all we needed.
No, but at the start of the film, to make that first 10 minutes to 20 minutes better, that's all I would have needed. Just establish what's going on, build some characters, and go from there.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't fix the rest of the film because that would take me a couple of years.
I think they could have even added a few more shots of them all together in those like therapy things
Yeah.
to kind of have those characters play off each
Well,
other.
There just was no character building, though, or character motivation, or character. Like, they were in a situation where they couldn't control, and there was no reason for them to get out apart from the fact they wanted to get out. No one had any parents. No one had anything to go back to.
Yeah.
It was like,
It was quite sad, some of their backstories.
yeah, but like, I still didn't care because I didn't know anything about them.
I gotta say, the one performance that didn't annoy me was Charlie Heaton.
Didn't.
He didn't annoy me.
His accent annoyed me, but that is
His
quite
accent.
I
was
thought he
not
was
good.
probably gave the best
He was
performance, even
yeah.
though the accent was going in and out.
The accent wasn't
cool.
strong.
It's better than the other guy.
But
He was
I
fucking
reckon,
cringe.
I reckon he was the only character that I was like, you haven't, you weren't the go down to the basement after hearing a noise sort of thing. He was a character who was like genuinely like afraid to do these things for genuine reasons.
But he was
And-
also generally used as like comic relief. Like,
Was he?
I feel like he was. Like, a lot of the scenes where it was like, I think one that really stuck out to me was when they were in the hallway and the smiley guys were coming from both direction, and then he's like freaking out, and then she just disappears. And then
I
he's
think,
like,
I
okay,
think
now
that
it's
was
time.
played off quite well.
I thought it was kind of cheesy, but.
I mean,
it's
yeah,
fair.
it's definitely cheesy, but I don't think it was like acted terribly.
No, not in terms of acting, I just mean, I feel like the way it was written.
Oh, that's the whole fucking writing.
It's inexcusable. Don't go into this film expecting any nice
Good writing.
dialogue.
Yeah.
This dialogue is probably the worst I've ever heard on screen.
Yeah.
Consistently for the whole thing.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
It is horrible.
But Anna showed me some pretty cool fun facts, trivia stuff. Apparently, John Hamm was cast to play Nathaniel Essex, Mr. Sinister, who we talked about earlier. And he filmed his role, but they cut it out. Probably when they decided that it wasn't going to be a trilogy anymore. Because Josh Boone's apparently his intention when this was going to be a trilogy was that the second film was going to be an alien invasion movie featuring Adam Warlock.
What?
Ooh.
And then the third and final installment was going to be a supernatural apocalyptic horror movie based on the X-Men comic event Inferno.
Whoa.
That would
Can
have
I
been
just-
fucking
Where,
cool.
Can I just pull
where
you back?
demons invade the earth and magic plays a
Can I
huge
just
role.
pull you back a sec? They were planning on putting Adam Warlock,
Yeah, Warlock. Yeah,
introducing him
yeah,
in
because
this.
he's a mutant. He's an alien mutant.
If they did that, I would have been so angry. Cause,
Well, you know that Disney, they probably both share the rights to him
Yeah.
since they used him in Guardians.
yeah, but if I had done it, I would have been so angry because he would not fit this at all.
Well, this was probably when this was a trilogy. This film was probably something different.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, in terms of the characters, in terms of all that, I would prefer to see Adam Warlock strictly stuck in space with cosmic characters.
Yeah.
Because on Earth, he would destroy everything and everyone, and it would be another Doomsday.
Well, this is kind of what happened with X-Men Dark Phoenix, which came out last year.
Yeah.
Which was
So
also
sad.
was kind of a travesty. But that film was supposed to be a 3-parter.
Oh, God.
And
That would have worked much better.
yeah, because the guy who wrote it and directed it, he wrote X-Men 3 as well. So he's wanted to do the Phoenix story for a long time. And mid-production, like when they were shooting Dark Phoenix, they were like, hey, Disney has bought us. This needs to be one movie. Scrap the other parts and try to make this one film and just write an ending and write a whole new third act mid-production, and let's just throw something together.
So he did a reverse George Lucas.
Pretty much. So that's why Dark Phoenix didn't really work. Although I like Dark Phoenix.
So I mentioned earlier that there was lots of blurry shots, and we were talking about how bad the beginning was and how quick it happened.
Yep.
It happened so quickly that I thought Danny at the start was Maisie Williams.
Yeah.
Because I heard the
Yes,
accent, and her face from all these blurry shots and how dark it was, I was like, oh wow, Maisie Williams has gone American. And then it cut to that overhead shot where like
Yeah.
her eyes open. I was like, wait a second.
Had you seen the trailer?
No.
No, neither.
It came to cut to that overhead shot. I was like, hold on a second. That's not her. And then she shows up in the vent when she gets to hospital. I was like, okay, never mind. I'm just stupid.
What was her name again? Blue.
Blue, that's her act.
Yeah, what's her
real
actual name? Blue.
Yeah, Blue.
that it?
I'm blue. Double D, double die.
I feel like it was really unfortunate for this to be her first film because it was a train wreck before she could have even. It was a train wreck before she could have even got on set to start with, and she wasn't experienced enough, in my opinion, to carry this kind of film.
Yeah. I thought her and Maisie Williams had really good chemistry, though.
Yeah, they did,
Yeah.
but it was kind of awkward seeing
Yeah, but
not them
that was
together.
just the dialogue. And
Not
how
even
it
like
was
just her solo parts were kind of awkward. Like,
Yeah, I agree.
it almost looked like she didn't know
She's
what
that
she was
coming of
meant to.
age teen, you know?
No, but that was not on purpose. It did not look on purpose. And it looked like she almost didn't know what to do in terms of blocking.
So I was going to ask you where you would put this in the X-Men
Last.
film. Last? Okay. Really? Like, do you think this is worse
it's
than
a-
X-Men Origins Wolverine?
Yes. Because that was good. I like it. No, I don't like it, but it was like, it actually did things. You know, it was funny when it wanted to be funny. It was horribly cringy and it was stupid, and they killed Deadpool.
And Sabretooth was his brother.
And Sabretooth was his brother, but apart from that, I mean, it actually had good parts that I liked. I really, in X-Men Origins Wolverine, I really liked the barnyard with the old man. That's one of my favorite scenes in the whole X-Men trilogy, the whole X-Men series. Just because it was so heartfelt, and then Logan came and kind of built off that for me in terms of like what I'd seen Wolverine previously. So yeah, I definitely think this is dead last.
Okay. I think I would probably... it's very hard. I think I would put this like shoulder to shoulder with Wolverine, to be honest.
Is last.
No, first
I don't
place.
know. The thing is, like, Dark Phoenix is not a very good film, but the first sort of 20 minutes I love, because that's when it's like a 90s cartoon. It's like Charles Xavier has a special phone and he calls up and like, Mr. President. It's just like the 90s cartoons.
Yeah.
I'm like, I love that. And Hans Zimmer made the score, and it's like the best X-Men score. So that
I
film has
love
like,
the score.
yeah, it's so good.
Actually, I did want to bring up something.
Did you?
Something that's disappointing about this film to me. Marvel are going to have to wait an extra couple of years now to wipe it from everyone's memory, so then when they have their new fresh X-Men, people aren't reminded of this. I believe that's what they're going to have to do, because I don't think the Fantastic Four was extremely damaged by that 2016-15 film, because now they're going to have to wait more for that as well. And that's what Marvel are like. I mean, how long did it take us to get another Spider-Man movie? And like all that kind
Like
of
a
stuff.
reboot.
What took
Well,
us?
it took like
20 from
5 years.
2007 to
Yeah.
2012,
5 years. So
and then 2012 to 2016 to see the start of them. Yeah,
yeah. So
2 years.
I feel like probably going to be till about 2022, or not 2024 to 2025. when we
well,
get the
there's
X-Men.
no. I mean, they have their whole next phase has been pushed back like a year and a half at this point,
Yeah.
and they said that the
MCU
X-Men.
is separate to X-Men, isn't it?
Not now.
Not now.
It's
no.
not gonna be the same.
Yeah, now they're gonna merge it. So
Oh,
they said that
might be
X-Men
what
will
they
not
mean.
be until Phase 5. So at this point, that's not gonna be till like 2026, 2027.
We're at phase 3, aren't we?
Now we
So
finished
yeah.
Phase 3.
Phase
It's
4.
phase 4 now.
Now it's
Black,
phase four.
Black
Okay,
Widow.
I think.
Of course, yeah, because Fantastic Four, yeah.
Yeah. Ooh. I didn't realise that. Because I reckon they're not in any rush to quickly bring back these characters.
Oh, not these
Big
ones
names.
specifically.
No. I just mean with like the X-Men and Fantastic Four.
Yep.
These are big names. We've seen them before, especially with like, with roles such as like Magneto and Charles Xavier, with specifically like Fassbender, James McAvoy, Ian McKellen, and Sir Patrick. They're such big, heavy roles that people have, especially for our generation, have grown up with them.
Yep.
And I think that would be like trying to recast kind of Iron Man sort of thing. And I think they may have bought it and they have plans for it. And I don't think that they won't do that. But I do think they're going to wait quite a long time before trying to bring these in. But I do think they'll bring in other mutants.
I feel like
Yeah, those films came out before Spider-Man came out.
yeah.
Yeah.
They've been,
No, 2000, didn't they? First one came out in 2000?
Yeah.
yeah, there was the
This is the first
That
superhero
didn't
film
do
I
as well as
saw.
it
Spider-Man.
was it was the first one after Blade, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Because they had a Daredevil movie as well back then.
Well,
That was
let's not talk
2003,
about
that was after
Yeah, that
Spider-Man.
was
That's when they thought, oh, we did so well with Spider-Man, we'll do Daredevil, we'll do Elektra, we'll do
Yeah.
Catwoman,
Ben Affleck.
Punisher. all that
Punisher,
stuff.
Triple X, something
Green
like
Lantern.
that. Yo.
I love Green Lantern. I really do.
Alrighty, guys, it's time to give out our oh so fabulous rating. Frederick, we'll start with you. What do you think?
I'll give it 5 Slenderman out of 5. Enjoyable,
Out of
not
5.
out of 10. I mean, sorry.
Wow,
Five,
you're really
five
going for it.
Slenderman out of 10. I'm tired. Okay, it's enjoyable enough. Like if it's on Netflix or some streaming service, you can like put it on, have it on in the background, or just play with your phone while like you have the film on. I don't know. Not one of those films you need to pay super much attention to. It's good for what it is, and it's really short. So
I wish I could give it higher because I love them all. Like the cast and
Well,
everything.
the cast isn't going to hear this.
You don't know that.
you don't know that.
Maybe our friend requests them as well.
Can we just apologise to the director really fast?
You should apologize.
Yeah.
What's his name? I'll do it right
Josh
now.
Boone.
Josh Boone. I am sorry. Try harder next time.
Whoa,
Whoa,
that's
that is not. Oh.
Okay.
Sister man.
I would like
Boone.
to. No, I'll do
Teresa.
it. On behalf of Shayden, Josh Boone, we're so sorry that this film turned out to be the way it was. We know that you're actually a big comic fan, and as comic fans ourselves, I know I would like to make a film to do with that, something like that in the future, but I've not want it to go to shit.
Oh, well, better luck next time.
Apparently, he deleted all his social media when the movie was released.
Oh, that's
At least you won't be able to
What a
listen to
pussy.
this.
no. I would just cry.
At least you won't be able to listen to this
I wouldn't
podcast.
release the
Send him
film.
it on a USB.
And I saw that Macy Williams had retweeted because one of the critics had written, like he posted his review, and the article or the title was like, headline was worst X-Men movie of all time.
That was the
And-
Forbes title.
I think so. And Macy Williams retweeted it and was like, hey everyone, get your tickets. It sounds like a must see.
I love her.
Well, she takes that in her stride, which is good.
Yeah.
She did
I mean,
the same
after
with her nude scene in Game of Thrones.
after all the hate
she?
season 8 got, I
She didn't say
Just,
it's
you
like
know.
a C-mode
Yeah.
naked body, but, I was thoroughly entertained, however, not for the right reasons. So I have to give this 3 Shark Boy and Lava Girl level of effects out of 10. Because fucking hell.
That's it.
I'm gonna give it 5 purple dragons out of
Spiral.
10. Yeah, it was a little Spyro. He was so cute. I think that was part of the movie like that won me over. It was a little dragon. He's very cute.
Okay.
Last but not least.
So
There's no negative scale, by the way, Shayden.
I'm back to being the way I was before 42.
Oh, sorry.
I'm gonna give it a 1 Care Bear out of 10. A for effort, buddy. There was no effort, so I don't know why I said that.
Yeah. Well, there was a Karen involved with, I think, production or something.
There was
It
every
was
Karen
written by the
involved.
director.
Huh?
The director was one of the writers.
Oh.
There was a Karen involved in every
Yeah,
scene.
executive producer Stan Lee and Karen.
Oh.
Why did you have to put his name on this? Why did you
So
do that
sad.
to him? Tarnish the poor man.
Okay, everyone, thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Filmocity podcast.
If you have any suggestions for some films you'd like us to watch, be it a new one, be it an old one, drop a comment on our YouTube video or send us a DM on Instagram at the Filmocity Podcast.
Make sure to listen to our other episodes as well, which you can find on anywhere you can find podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube.
As always, we upload every Thursday at 7 p.m. New Zealand Standard Time. Next week we will be doing Savage, a New Zealand film directed by Sam McCulley. So be sure to stay around to check us out for that.
Bye.
See ya. Hello.
Epstein did kill himself.
Shut the fuck up.
Oh.
Cut.